What's up, everybody? He's up there trying to rob Pop again. Yeah, if I say anything, Pop get mad at me, and all I gotta do is, John, don't be doing that to your grandfather, and he'll threaten to call cops. And even though it wouldn't do anything, I'm just tired of the bullshit. It's all he's doing is manipulating, trying to wear me down so he gets his way. 80-year-old man, he wants to do that. Oh well, it's on him. Every day, and he asked for it every day. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Anyway, we're here for other reasons. So, and I know everybody is about, will probably say, yeah, to this next question, but have you all really paid attention to how women said that we were, our, us being manly was toxic masculinity, right? And they have done nothing but show toxic feminism. Toxic, toxic feminism is all they show. Uh, I just seen a video from Des Moines, Iowa. I have family that lives out there, and let me tell you something. Yeah, they're brainwashed females just like that. What's going on with you females? You indulged in so much bullshit, and now your demons are coming back to tear you apart. Uh huh. What did that serpent do in the garden? Turned you against Adam. That's where the story of Lilith comes from. They have it screwed up. They're trying to make it seem like God made two females, and he didn't. He didn't make two females. That's what Eve turned into after having Cain, Abel, and Seth. After, well, you all try to act like it's like it is today. Back then, no, it wasn't. It was only him and her. They didn't get put on this earth by umbilical cords and coming through a birth canal. God made Adam and then made Eve out of Adam, so they would be one. When the serpent did what he did, that's when the demon possessed Eve, tricked Adam, had Cain, then had Abel and Seth. Why do you think Cain was evil? Abel was favored by the Lord because of his heart and how he did things. Now, Seth was a mixture of both, now wasn't he? Yeah. And he the one that went on to create the Egyptians and all that? Yeah, Cain did it too. Canaanites were one of the main ones. But that's what I'm saying. There was a reason why you all were not allowed to lead. And you still have the same mentality today. The same habits of your ancestors you still do every day. You're never happy. Eve, she was not happy with having everything. Women, they can have the best family, the best man, be getting the best life. They want more. Even in movies, they want more. In life, when they get something, they're satisfied for what? Maybe a second or two? Then they're wanting more. Look at men. A lot of us have, well, a lot of males, which I don't call them men, you all do, as in the females do, and that's just to escape the reality that you chose somebody that you shouldn't have chose, and you know it. You're told your whole life. Your friends tell you, your brothers tell you, your uncles tell you. You don't care. You just want what you want. No, immature males are that way. Yeah, so are immature females. That's why I call them women. and F boys. See, F boys are a male that is the equivalent of these women that I speak of. Well, there's good women out there. Yeah, am I talking about them? No, obviously. You all try to change what I'm talking about by doing that. See, that's manipulation. That's also guilt, by the way. Not all the time. That's not a 100% they're guilty. But 90% of the time, that's what it means. They feel guilty about something like that. Well, men do it too. Men don't do it like women do. And you're forgetting that we are the leaders. No shit, we say it. We're supposed to. We're supposed to get on you for what you're doing wrong. That's a leader. Gee, who was the first one to rebel against God? Eve. You're trying to tell me she didn't rebel against Adam? Yes, she did. And that's another evil bloodline that most people don't even pay attention to. Did you notice in all the Epstein shit? And I know people are going to be like, well, they were victims. I'm not talking about the women victims. And not all those women were victims. Naomi Campbell knew exactly what she was doing and what they were doing. She was helping to recruit. Cassie came out and said that she got beat up and all this after, she was a young girl. And yeah, she was scared, but she was also wanting that money. And you know that. A lot of these so called young girls knew exactly what was going on. They knew they were going to get money, be around a lot of rich people, and might be able to get even more money after they get out of it if they survive. And that's exactly what a lot of these women did. Just like the Epstein girlfriend that y'all redacted her face trying to say, oh, she was one of them. No, she was a young girl, but she was a little demon helping them. She ended up with everything. I guarantee you, her and her little posse is still doing it. Y'all wonder why, oh, well, we can never stop it because it just keeps growing. That's how it grows. You dumbasses allow this shit. You know they know the law. You know they're playing with it. They're running circles around your law barriers. That's what they're doing, laughing at you. It's like the little motherfucker that keeps putting his foot over the line, and you go to grab them, and then they step back over, and then they'll put the foot over, and they'll step back over, and laughing at you. That's what they're doing. And these people are just like, oh well, I guess I can't get him. Where's your C4? Blow that fucking door out of the way. Grab his ass. Pull him across that fucking line. You already witnessed them coming across it taunting you. See, that's when I agree on going against what the bullshit law says. Right there, at that moment. No further. Just to get that son of a bitch that you know needs to be got. Not somebody that you're just mad at because they got dirt on you and you're a bad person in law enforcement. So you're trying to flip script. No, you don't get to go across the law. You already did enough for your own personal bullshit. Now, putting your foot over that line to snag a true criminal or a monster out there, I definitely agree with that. Those are moral lines and they should not be moved. No, if that criminal is going to step over that moral line and then use that moral or law line, then you should be able to step over it to get them. Only to get them. Yeah, that would be exactly how God would do it, and you know it. That's how karma hits you. What you do to people ends up happening to you 10 times worse. And people do not know how to judge that. And this is why God says, don't judge like that, because you don't know. But when you know for a fact that they are hiding behind this stuff and that they are doing these sinister things and running around smiling, yeah, pretty sure that falls under the 70 times 70 or the 7 times 70. 480 or 490? Yeah, 490 times. A lot of people think, oh, well, they have to do horrible things almost 500 times before you can do. No, it means he's just giving you a scale, you know, like if they're uh, stealing stuff because their family's hungry. That's one reason why he does that, you know, because there are other instances that this might be innocent, but they have no other choice, or maybe they feel they don't. But then you get to lines where you're taking people's lives, you're doing things to deliberately do this, even though you have everything you need. There's no reason for you to be doing what you're doing. You're doing it out of evil and spite. That right there is over the line. Yes, the good moral line. See, that good moral line moves a little. The bad moral line does not move a little like that. And yes, that's that fine line I'm talking about. I think you guys get what I mean. If I keep going, I'm going to lose all my time. So, but it's just insane. I really think the devil's army is women. I really do. Well, he's had them under his control since the beginning of time. He's used them for all kinds of stuff. Look what he did with Samson. Look what he did with Bloody Mary. Yeah. I mean, come on. Back then, somebody came up with if you could eat a tomato and survive, you were a witch and you needed to die. And nobody paid attention to the fact that the government was pirates and witches trying to do the Uno reverse card and make people believe that everybody else was and they weren't because they held high authority. Really? That's what women are doing right now. Seems like the same demon is there. I'm not going to say his name, but if you look up what they do and what their, you know, evil jobs are, you'll be shocked because there's a couple of them that do just this, exactly what's going on. Yes, the one's name sounds like Israel. I'll tell you that. He's one of the ones that I believe was chained. So I really think they're released. Yeah. And I think that's why there was four. One to go north, south, east, and west of the whole world. Yes. Yes, I believe you have one in Asia and Europe and all that. Yes, I believe you have one in the United States. And yes, I believe you have one at the North Pole and the South Pole. And yes, I believe their demonic entities are stretching across the world like the web. World Wide Web, right? The web will cover the world, right? Too many coincidences. Well, that book was written by Freemasons and this, that, and the other. Really? Well, that's funny because God's word is still getting through. So obviously, at some point, it got through. Well, they say that God's word is, when it's spoken, it's done. Just like, a dad in a family, the traditional dad in a family, when he spoke, it was done. And that was being in the image of God. That's how you were supposed to handle it. Guess what? We're so far from that now. And look at all the death, mayhem, fear, loneliness, etc. Yeah. Pretty funny when men were running the show, even though life still threw you curveballs, it was manageable and it still felt like something worth living. Now, there ain't a person alive that can tell me this is worth living. And if you do, you better check what it says about Noah and Sodom and Gomorrah. This is what it means about they were eating, drinking, and marrying. Basically, they were still partying, didn't give a fuck what was going on. I found out that most music is witchcraft. Most. The only ones that aren't is old time country and some gospel music. That's it. The rest is demonic. All of it. Yep, I don't care how much you like it. It's all demonic, especially jazz. Yeah, I used to love jazz. I don't listen to it anymore. I didn't know that. Nope, reading up on witchcraft and researching stuff, origins of where it comes from and what they do and who's involved and how to know. Yeah. Watching my friends indulge in witchcraft and watching them think that it was a joke. And then short time later, they're not here anymore. So, like I said, you all can be skeptical all you want. What happens when you think something is not real? You do it and you find out right away that you were wrong. Yeah. There's no going back, and you ain't going to be able to tell nobody because you won't be here. I've told you all the story about my friend. Yep. I mean, we weren't good childhood friends or nothing like that, but he was seemed like a decent dude, and we got into working on small engines, dirt bikes, stuff like that. And he's a pretty cool dude. You know, we goof off, play football, throw it around in the front strip. We didn't really play football. Football. There wasn't no place to play football there. Not unless you want to run up and down hill and fall in a ditch. Which, hey, I have done that. Just not that time. But yeah, it was Halloween, and you know how young ones are, always wanting to play with shit they don't understand. And I told them, do not fuck with that. And I told them the stories, about other people that I know messing with them things and the things that have happened to them. And they didn't listen. And I can't tell you what they did. All I can tell you is they were planning on messing with it. I got the hell out of there. I stopped by, checked out his one dirt bike because it was having a problem, and me and him were talking, and his girl brought the Ouija board thing right in front of us, and I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, we're getting ready to play with this thing. You want help?" And no, I don't want no, I don't want anywhere near that. He said, "You scared of it?" I said, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Oh, it's just a game. It ain't real." And I'm like, "Buddy, take my advice. Do not play that." And he said, "Yeah, sure." And I said, "No, you're not listening. I know people that have lost their life from messing with that. Do not mess with that." Like I said, they didn't listen. 2 months later, they went on a four-wheeling ride, and somebody There was no cable when they went down this trail, but when they went to come back, somebody had put a cable up, and it about cut him in half. It saved her life because he was in front, but I tried to tell them. I did. Nobody listened. And it's the whole how brutal and how gory and shit that is. I mean, that's like something on Final Destination, you know? And yeah, that right there, those little details let you know that that was something demonic that made that happen. Then you find out that the state police are the ones that own the land. They were most likely one of the ones that did that. No charges, no nothing. Imagine that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say. That land back there was always ridden on by them. It kept them from riding them on the streets and getting in trouble. And you dumb fucks let it go on for decades. And then all of a sudden, you silently started trying to hurt people. How do you get away with that? Yeah, in Maryland, the state where it happened in, you don't even have self defense like that. You don't. He's not cornered in a house, or she, whoever. It might have been a she that did it. But I know for a fact it was the state police that own it. And I know they're the ones that watch it. So I know it was one of them. The problem is we don't know which one. No face, no case, right? Yeah. What, you think cops don't go by that? Yes, they do. But yeah, there are too many things that have happened with other people in my life messing with demonic things that show me that it is 100% real. And that what you all don't understand is that's one of the manipulations by it is to make you believe that it's not real and it doesn't happen. Why? So you will accept it because you don't believe it'll happen. Just like my boy Ricky. What did that demon do the whole time he was holding that thing? Made him believe that it wasn't true and he'd be fine. What did they do to Eve and Adam? Made them believe that it wasn't true and that they'd become gods even though they already were. Imagine that. I would whisper to Eve, do as you please. Or I will whisper in their ear like I did to Eve, do as you please. Isn't that what that is? Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Who's at the helm of all this craziness? It's not men, it's women. Who's the ones that indulge in witchcraft the most at a young age? Women. Are there ones that people believe that are ladies that might be this secretly? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure there are. Look at it now. You have a loudmouth girl that looks slutty going into an establishment, especially a bar or restaurant. Dude, she's going to get anybody and everybody's protection that wants to sleep with her or look good in her eyes. Even if they're not going to sleep with her, it'll still, they feel it puts them in her heart. Now, other men that protect women, this is what they'll try to use against you, saying that this is what you're doing. And that, see how that Uno reverse comes from the devil. So that's another reason why I know they're possessed by the devil. 80% of them, at least. Yep. Narcissism. That's a demon. BPD. Yeah, that's a demon torturing somebody. That's why their personality keeps changing. Yeah, it seems like whatever the demon is, either they're not strong enough to do like a full possession, or they know what's going to happen if they do a strong full possession that makes everybody know people are possessed. Because what has happened? They bring in an exorcist or a priest to do an exorcism, right? What if that's just demons dialing it down visually so you don't see it until it's already done? That's what it seems like. Oh, I have a high IQ. I have high functioning and ADHD, which a lot of times high IQ and high functioning ADHD is confused for each other. So might be both. Who knows? Yeah, when I get focused on something, I can pull out details that other people don't notice. This is why a lot of people try to fight with me because they see something and they might be right. As in, yeah, that's going on, but that's not the reason it's going on, or it's not the main reason it's going on. And I go to tell people now, this is why, look what it did. And they get mad. Motherfucker, if you would just settle down and look, that's not why they did that. This is why they did that, because look what they did. Gee, what's that doing? Following actions. Why? Because actions speak louder than words. Just like Erica Kirk. At first, I felt really bad for her. And then I started noticing they've been tracking this dude since he was a kid. Her family, which she lied about, is all Israel. Uh, what did she do with Turning Point? Changed it from what Charlie didn't want to do. And she, in the beginning, said that Charlie was scared of that trip to Cabo. And then she said, oh, he wasn't scared. Yes, he was. And we have the text messages to prove it. We also have the video of him on his show talking about it. So, yeah, Erica knew. And she wanted that money. She didn't give a fuck about his beliefs or his moral lines. Well, that's hard to believe. I don't see the bullshit. There's a lot of women that do it. It's called love bombing. And she's doing it to the crowd. It worked for Charlie. Why not do it to you? She trained CIA high operatives at 23 years old. Don't fall for her bullshit. She has been trained to bullshit from a young age. That's the only way she's training CIA high operatives. At 23, dude, you have to be a seasoned person in the CIA to be able to be doing that. And she's doing it at 23. That means she was in the CIA as a kid. Had to be. Or they were using her, and whatever her parents had her do got her that spot. Yeah, John Bonet. Yeah, they found out that her parents sold John Bonet to fucking Epstein. She was put down where she was and set up like that so they would have an alibi and an excuse. They sold that little girl to those men. Yes, they did. That's why they were putting on those beauty pageants. Everybody thought, oh, it's just little girls acting like grown women. I told you, no child should be paraded around like that. And I told you I didn't trust it. It seemed just wrong. And that's exactly what they were doing. They were holding an open auction right in front of your fucking face. That's what those pageants were. Yes, they were. There are a lot of rich families that have kids and treat them as a business token. They don't treat them as their family, even though they might act something like that in front of people. That's not how they view the kids that they had. They view them as a way to make money. Other families will grow their kids and try and get them to be prosperous, for themselves. Other parents will act like they're trying to get their kids to be prosperous for themselves and really be messing with their life and be jealous that they're doing better than them and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, no fuck with them. And a lot of times it's with a smile. These kids don't even know that their parents are doing this. Yeah, and it's all because that person should have never had kids because they're jealous of everybody else around them. They will start shit with people that have nothing to do with them, that they don't even know, just because they might act a certain way and it pisses this person off. And it doesn't have to be a bad way, it can be a good way. And it just, for some reason, whatever they were thinking and was gonna do, I guess they felt it upstaged them or something. Which, oh, excuse me, I know a lot of other people think everything's an audition and it's a movie and we're at, no. A lot of people just live life, man. That's why when people start flipping out about that stuff, we're like, huh? I wasn't doing that. And then they come in with their ideology. Yes, you were. Right. A good person bringing that stuff out, I would listen to. One of these psychotic people out here, wouldn't listen to them too much. Not like, not really take what they're saying for too seriously. But I'd still listen to them because sometimes you just need to know. That's what lets you know that people are delusional. Now you've got people that are accepting the delusion and calling the other people delusional. There's that devil Una reverse card. Where did we see that the most? In women? You hate women. Well, I have a very good reason to. And you all can say it's hate, and sometimes I've even said that. Yes, I hate women because they're not ladies. They will deliberately fuck with your emotions and your heart just so they can sit on their ass. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Any human that does that, you're a piece of shit. Women use it. Women will build men up, take them on an emotional roller coaster, fuck with their mental health the whole time while they're snatching all their money and then get the fuck out. Yeah, you can be with somebody for 15 to 30 years, come home and they have a new boyfriend and you need to move out. Yep, all because the courts will give it to them. They can go and get you removed while you're at work. And don't tell me they can't. They can. And they don't have to have any evidence either. Nothing. They don't have to have shit. Just a crying, pouting face and a pen. It's insane. It really is. Women are too engulfed in fucking fantasy. And that's all these other women have to do is bring up something that sounds like what they've seen and, fucked with their head when they were watching a movie. Now all of a sudden, oh, he wants to do that, does it? You don't even know if it's true. You're already mad. Yeah, what showed me that uh, truth and lie was being accepted differently was all this stuff going on with my kids, my fiance, because these bitches, they had people around that seen this shit. Just like that chick Leslie, she was the one that Jen was in her car. And imagine that. Tiffany and my sister and Jen, we're all fighting. Why are we fighting? Because they were trying to do shit. and they didn't get it. But we weren't fighting at that. We're fighting now. Right? My kids passed away. I go to help my sister out in Virginia. Her and her husband completely ripped me the fuck off, even though I saved their ass in a fucking $1 million contract. Excuse me? I'm down here when I should be out on my own trying to fucking deal with what just happened to my kids. I'm doing this so my niece can go to homecoming, so my nephews and all that still have money. Yeah, because you two dumb fucks don't know how to spend money, you don't know how to run a business, and you think of yourselves before you do your business. Yeah, destined to go right under. Your husband doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I'm the one who talked to him about those custom containers. He didn't listen to me. Then he gets jackass Brian and Willie to sell him on doing it when I already had a knockdown fucking plan for it. He didn't listen to me. Did it his way. Fucked it all up. Got himself in all kinds of trouble. And then who's he called to come bail him out? Me. Who bailed him out? Me. Whose face did y'all spit in? Me. I just lost 3 children. I'm fighting with my ex that everything points that her and her mother did this. And you're over there acting like a spoiled little bitch. Fucking with your brother, getting what you can get, using Kevin as a fucking patsy. Yeah, of course he put you in charge of payroll. Y'all think that's a coincidence that she just found, he just appointed her to payroll? Right. And what was fucked up? Payroll. I even put everybody on a day pay to where it was all production work. This is what you get per day. When you get that much work done, you get paid that no matter what. There is no overtime. That is your overtime. That's how you do it. That's how production work works. You're basically getting paid by the job. Um, it helps you to get the job done quicker and make more money because people aren't milking your fucking clock. And they act like they couldn't do the math. What are you talking about? 5 days, set amount of money for each person. These 3 people are on the job. You know how much each one gets. All you got to do is times each person's days by 5. There you go. I'm salary. They already know what the fuck I'm getting. And what's Kevin keep trying to do? Oh, well, we need groups that are going to, work for the company and wait to get paid. What? What do you mean wait to get paid? What the fuck do you think we're here for? Well, we're in a little bit of a snag because of blah, 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 blah. And we just got to get this done so we can get paid. Yeah. I looked at him and said, this is fucked up. I'm running all the way to another state to do this. I'm not getting paid until the job gets done, even though this isn't my mess. That's why you don't work for family. Yeah, they did all this while I'm in the middle of trying to do an investigation on my kids. Yeah, begging and pleading for me to go down there and do it. I even have the text messages. Funny thing is, these motherfuckers were behind her doing all the shit she was doing. So let me ask you a question, Jeanette. You went to a party with Willie and Yvonne. You did some nasty fucking shit. Before you ran into them, which I'm pretty sure you were running around with them when you came to Uncle John's and started asking me for money and asking me if I wanted you to handle shit, and I told you no. Why did we get in a fight when I got back? Because you didn't listen. You deliberately went and I want to say it. I don't see why I'm trying to keep your fucking reputation anything. I really don't. Another manipulated tactic trying to woo up to your brother to get money when he fucking told you to stay out of it. Yeah, she goes down there. She goes to a party with my brother and this girl that I was dating, and Willie fucking did what he did behind my back. And she's asking me if I wanted her to beat her up before she even ran into her. I told her no. She ends up partying with them, sleeping in a tent with them, and then gets up the next morning and starts threatening and wanting to beat her up. If I if I felt she needed her ass whooped, trust me, I would not call you. Even though, yes, you can fight like a motherfucker. That's one reason why I would not call you. She don't need that type of ass whooping. And my sister is psycho. Yes, she is. And that's what I'm talking about. Then she flips script, starts kissing Willie's ass, all because he went into the army. Yeah, anybody that's got money, right? What did she do with Tip? Right up her ass. Why? Because she knew she had money. Right. This is these kids' aunts. This is their aunt. Yes. Not giving a fuck, cozying right up to the people that took their life. Yep. She knows it. Yeah, she does. She knows. She don't give a fuck. Ain't her kids. She don't care. Just like all this shit going on with her son. She sent him here to do all that. And I'll tell you why. My mom called her up and said, "You need to do something about your son, blah, blah, blah." She wouldn't listen, kept messing with my mom and all this. So our stepsister gets in it. And now all of a sudden my sister and my mom aren't talking. And my sister had my mom's phone on her plan, and she shut it off right away. First of all, that's your parent. Did she shut your phone off every time you stole her car or brought drug addicts into her house or threw parties in her home? Huh? No, she didn't. And there's a lot of times you run your mouth about how you always are in trouble for stuff that you didn't do. That's a fucking lie. That has been my life, and you fucking know it. You are trying your ass off to get out of all this shit you've done. Sitting here trying to make your mother believe that she has given you so much hard punishment. Really? Let's analyze this for a second. I get bullied and jumped by 4 people in 3rd grade. I beat the fuck out of them. My mother said that if I didn't start it, I would never be in trouble. I didn't start any of the fights I got into. I was always in trouble. Always. Every time. This girl went to school. I mean, mopped the fucking school with a girl. And I'm not talking about just down one hallway or two or in a classroom. I'm talking about she beat this girl's ass all over that school. Up and down every fucking hallway. It started in a classroom. She literally beat the living shit out of this girl all over this room, all over this fucking school. This school is huge, and I'm telling you, it was from one end to the other and back. There was nobody in that school that could stop her. She didn't get one day, not even one word of being in trouble. Nothing. She shattered her boyfriend's face, cost my mom over $10,000. Nothing. All because he was mad at her for messing with another dude. She told him, "You're controlling. You don't tell me what the fuck to do," and went to bounce a bottle off his windshield. It didn't break his windshield. It bounced off and broke the car behind his. So she punched him in the face because she was mad because it didn't do what she wanted. Yeah, this is the psycho bitch that is my sister. Well, you don't get to choose your family, so shut up. This is the bitch that I was raised around. Yeah, this is the bitch I had to deal with my whole fucking life. Oh, shut up. If you were there and seen what I seen, you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, well, that's just tip." No, it's not. This is way, way different. Yes, my sister has serious, serious issues. My mom took her to a fucking psychiatrist that told her Claritin was her problem. Sinuses is her problem? Fucking sinuses. They did. They came back with a whole bag of fucking Claritin, saying that they were waiting for a prescription to be filled, and they gave them all them free samples until it was filled. And this is what they Claritin? You motherfuckers are lying. She would do the same thing to therapists that Jen and Tiffany would do. Run them in circles. Yep. I see a lot of women doing that to family, friends, boyfriends, friends. They just run you in a manipulative circle until you get tired out and just be like, whatever. What are we seeing Hillary Clinton do when she was being interviewed by Congress? Same thing, running them in bullshit circles until they're like, you know what, we're not getting anywhere, and time runs out. That's all they're doing, running down the clock. That's it. What does that mean? That means they did exactly what you're talking about. They're just not going to tell you. I would love for one person to tell me I'm wrong. I would love. We can have this debate. I want, if you do feel that these things are wrong and not correct, I would love to get your eyesight checked and your hearing. Yep, and after that, you need to go get a full mental evaluation. Fantasy versus reality is being buried. They are trying to make people not even notice that disability. I wonder why. Because they're using it. That's why. What is Chat GPT? Fantasy versus reality. What is Google, Alexa, all that? Fantasy versus reality. 80% of what people look up seem to be truthful and work. So they think it is some type of know-all, like the magic 8 ball. Guess what? It's not. You're being manipulated. There's a lot of stuff on Google, and I even, was quizzing Google. Why does Google say that it is truthful? And it even says in there, Google is not truthful. Google just gathers information that is on the web. So that means everything that it gathers is what people put up, and whatever it's programmed to gather, that's what it will accept as, this is what I'm giving you. And people accept it as, that's 100% truth. No, it's not. Just like if you've ever installed carpet, okay? From, and yes, you also have to factor in that those people back then, even though they were looked at as macho, this, that, and the other, they were still lazy. The reason why they have so much regulations on stuff like that is because of dumbasses back then not doing it correctly. Just like today, even if they have a pole stretcher, which is supposedly what Shaw is trying to use wordage to make people believe that that's the only thing you can use. It, they have gotten Shaw which Shaw doesn't control everything. They're only one mill. They're not all of them. How come Shaw all of a sudden thinks that it gets to control anything like that? See, this is what I'm talking about, how we're controlled by big business. See, that's a bullshit lie. And yeah, I've proven them wrong. I've made thousands of dollars off of betting people and proving them wrong. I can get way more than a 1% to 1.5% tension out of my knee kicker. And yes, there is a technique to it. But you have a lot of lazy other motherfuckers that have showed up with a knee kicker and not done a good job. So that prompted big business to cut their throats by doing this, even though they're just going to buy a pole stretcher and still not do a good job. Pole stretchers do a lot of damage. Pole stretchers do not do what people say they do. And nobody really knows what mill specification is for the 1%. All it is a kickback like a rubber band when you pull the carpet off the tack strip. Yes, of course, the tighter you get it, the better. You get it too tight, it's going to break. Well, that's thick carpet. It take a lot. Yes, it does take a lot. You have no clue on how much tension you're putting on that. You're just, going by what you think is right. And there's some men that always try and do a little bit more and then a little bit more. And eventually it gets up to a level where you're into integrity issues. You're the ones that bend the tacks over with the hammer. You fucking idiot. You just pulled it out of the backing. You better hope it held. Shoot, back in my day, there used to be people that think that you could run in there, throw it all out, make sure it's flat, bump the little, wrinkles out, and then shoot it in with a staple gun. No. No. I'm just saying, there's people that's went in there and people thought they were professionals, and these people were hackers. Now, anybody that has a fucking knee kicker, oh, he's a hacker. That's just these big companies trying to cut the throats of these little guys. That's all that is. And thanks a lot, little guys, for being lazy and not doing shit right, because now you gave them a reason. Yeah, I do all floor coverings. And what I started doing was carpet. I did carpet for shit. And I still do it today. I mean, it was just pretty much all we were doing. We did strip wood, vinyl, VCT, and stuff like that, but we mainly did carpet. When I got into all the other stuff, I learned it well because I wanted to be versatile. I wanted to be able to put in any floor covering. And I've done that. This is what I mean. You've never worked a hard day in your life. You don't know what it's like to have goals and complete them. I'm ADHD. That's all I fucking do. What are you talking about? It's been my whole fucking life. Make a goal, complete it. Make a goal, complete it. Fucking tell me. The thing I wasn't concerned about was a lot of money. The thing I wasn't concerned about was being a fucking rich asshole like everybody else. I didn't want the love of all money to become the root of evil in my family. Guess what? My other partner silently did not agree, even though she said she did. I was not a greedy person. I did not care about money. I cared about seeing smiling faces and having the best life that we could possibly have. Decent little house, a little bit of money, just enjoying life. Yeah, that's called humbling yourself and not getting wrapped in all this, what everybody else believes is the beautiful people and their activities. Look what they do. I don't want none of that. None of it. I got to have money to be able to go to those places. I don't even want to be in those places. Why would I want to take my kids to places where these people are going to be? Why? This is what I don't understand about these parents. Why are you taking your children around these people when you know who they are? Disney World. Everybody knows how dirty that place is. Universal Studios and Nickelodeon. Yeah, they're the same ones. Imagine that. People still paying money to go there. The NFL, everybody knows these major league teams, their owners are dirty. Y'all still sitting here giving them money. I don't understand y'all. There's that fantasy versus reality kicking your ass.